Hello and welcome
to Sickly Boys.
Hi, Lucas.
Welcome.
Are those real glasses? They look like prop glasses. Are those your real glasses?
Yeah, they're real. They're really dirty.
Yeah, they're just dirty. That's why. Okay.
They're made of plastic.
You have prop contacts in, Ellen?
I have the new limited edition invisible contacts.
Real contacts are already invisible, so.
So this is almost a good setup here. We've got.
Took us a while to get it.
Yeah, I see. I can move my screen there, and you can see most of that content. There's a little bit of like the scripture and stuff bleeding off the screen there for the people that are watching live. But it'll get most of the pictures and everything. I hope, and then you guys can see it up there.
I have a mic from my so I'll look around it.
I might need to bring the bigger TV in eventually.
Ooh, upgrading.
Have a 3-camera setup. That'd be good. But so welcome, finally live on YouTube for Big Acronym Standout. Feels almost right. It feels
almost. It's very close.
Partially good. And
camera quality on the stream than it is for
yeah. Today's episode is episode number 8 of 12.
Sponsored by Dollar Shave Club.
Sure, yeah. We are well past the halfway point. We only have 4 episodes left after this. This should have been our second family night one if we had made that work, but it's all fine. Nothing has been the way I thought it would be, but the first year of anything is a year of just trials and
trial and error.
Troubles and
it's full of trials and errors and errors and errors and errors. Then one success, then more errors.
Yeah. It looks like Hunter is following it on Discord, so he's chatting through Discord. You could also use the
3 people watching.
Yeah, you could use the chat on YouTube if you wanted to. We can see both from where we are. Ooh, Mary Alice, hey, what's up? I can't read that from where I am.
I'm using my real name today.
Yeah, so, and I just said it online too, so you're out there. So we're going to get rolling. Literally, we'll roll the
there's 4 people.
The wheel.
4 people watching, and I'm not one of them. Whoa.
And we'll get started on something here.
Did you see my name?
Yeah,
because
you chatted.
Yeah, that. Hey, there's Rachel too.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Compliments it is.
Mom, I tried one of the cookies before we were supposed to eat them yet, and they were really good.
Well, that's technically not a compliment. You're just ratting yourself out.
Isn't that a technical?
It's
that's
both.
A compliment for Otis Spunkmeyer too, right? Aren't those Otis Spunkmeyer?
Well, he had a chocolate chip, didn't he?
Oh, you have one of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
right.
homemade.
Well, those are a couple weeks ago. The ones that she made, which I don't think anybody got to enjoy except us.
Yeah, because those she left them in too long or something, and they were really good.
They were.
They were really
so
flat,
good.
but they were really good.
So good. I love those. They reminded me of my childhood.
Great, now we're gonna get sad.
So thank you for every week she's made something. Even the weeks where we didn't have people, she has made something.
Mm-hmm.
And
wasting our materials.
No. It's
not wasting them. You're still eating it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, someone needs benefits from it.
Won't.
And I appreciate it. So I'm glad that you guys do a little bit. We are live from our downstairs. You can almost see a little bit of the dry erase board there in the corner, which we might have to move the camera if we draw on the board. But this is the best way I can get to work is with this little crummy USB camera instead of the big one. The big one is recording, and I may put that version online too. Yeah, I can't see that. I don't know if that's there or not, but that's fine.
It's not there.
This episode is about 1 Peter chapter 5 verses 1 through 11, which I have over here. Let's see if I can do this. Is this gonna be worth it to try it this way?
Maybe.
I don't know. This may just mess everything up.
Yay, ruining things.
Paste. Oh, I can't hit enter, so.
Yeah, Lucas, you have to do it.
Alright, so that's just like text. I don't know if that... Yeah, it's too much flipping back and forth there. We may not do it that way. I don't know.
Heck.
So, this is 1 Peter 5, the first section, 1 through 4. Can you read that? One of you want to read that?
I'll read it. The elders who are among you, I exhort. I who am a fellow elder and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that will be received, to shepherd the flock of God, which is among you, serving as overseers, not by compulsion, but a willingly, not a dishonest gain, but eagerly, three nor as being lords over these entrusted to you, but being examples of the flock. And when the chief shepherd appears, you'll receive the crown of glory that does not fade away. I need glasses.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you didn't say belords instead of be lords, but here you said willingly.
Well, yes,
Like, there's an A there, but it's like a footnote A from when it copied over. That kind of changes it to the exact opposite word. It's not willingly, it's a willingly. Sort of
I'm
changes
sorry.
it. But
I'm back here and I have to look
Yeah,
around the
I know.
microphone.
So maybe I should just try to type it in through BibleBot. Do the next section, which would be 1 Peter 5, 4 through 11. Or 5 through 11. 1 Peter 5.
How do I type it in?
Just use the keyboard and type. It's ready to type in there.
I think he was asking what the
the number 1, space, Peter, space, 5, colon, 5, dash, 11. And space, NIV.
You're hitting the keys really hard. I don't think the computer likes that.
Well, it liked it enough to put it up there.
Yeah.
And that's even harder to read.
Not it.
In the same way, you who are younger, submit yourselves to your elders. The first part was about the elders. The next part's about the young men. The young men. You're a young man.
And you're an elder.
I am an elder. All of you, clothe yourselves with humility toward one another. Because God opposes the proud, but gives favor to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that He may lift you up in due time. And I'm gonna stop there for a minute. That was in due time. Wait, can you see where that's at? I'm losing it again. All right,
Right before 7.
Yeah, we really need a bigger screen.
Mm-hmm. Send us money.
So-
Add our paper.
Yeah. So we've had husbands and wives in submission and respect, and we've had slaves and masters in submission and respect, and then he's using that in the same way phrase again, like he did with the other ones, that there's a both sides to this, that you have old people and you have young people, and there should be respect and mutual submission and honor for each. And since last week was Nora's birthday episode, and we were talking about countenance, this is your birthday episode.
I feel so appreciated.
In 2 days, you will be even older of a young man and closer to being an elder. And then I'll be super elder, and I'll still get to yell at you to do stuff. But so this is your episode. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where's my cake?
There's no cake because it's not your actual birthday. You have
make
to,
cookies.
it has to
Where's
be
my present?
you already ate a premature cookie, so you're good.
Dang it.
But instead of opening a present, we could have you push the button.
Should I push it now?
What do you think, Leslie? Is this a good time to push the button?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this was done by Leslie. She recorded this button.
Should I press it now?
Press it.
Spooky, scary skeletons send shivers down your spine.
Why do you sing the song? We're gonna get copyrighted now.
I've had that in my head too. A lot.
I know.
Spunky,
Well, you've heard me
scary,
whistling it?
skeletons.
No,
and
Nora sings it
skivers
all
the time.
down
Yeah,
your
it's-
spin.
It's been in my head a lot.
Yeah, Nora sings it all the time.
Spooky, scary skeletons send shivers down your spine.
Yeah, you're done. Okay, thanks. So, young men, you are supposed to have humility and honor and respect for your elders and not be all like lifted up and proud of yourselves like you're like better than the old people, because God opposes the proud and gives grace to the humble. Or favor, I think is what this version says, gives favor to the humble. I know it is gives grace to the humble, but and you can picture this the same way you picture the wrestling thing, you know, that there's a submission and respect for both. But we're going to talk more about something else today, which comes into play a little farther down here, I believe. It's the in due time right there. So cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Be alert and sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of suffering. There's our suffering again. We got that. Every week we have that. And the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. And to him be the power forever and ever. Amen. So it talks about the devil roaring or prowling around like a lion.
Looking for someone to devour.
What is the lion most likely to be ready to devour? And the answer is found in verse 2, which is right here. What do lions devour?
Meat.
Sheep.
Sheep are meat.
In biblical context, lions devour sheep. So we have Peter talking about how God is the head of all things, and Christ suffered on our behalf, and he is the shepherd of the flock, and so much buffering. Oh.
Probably for the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, is somebody upstairs watching Netflix? Because that would...
Would it hurt that I'm probably pulling on it?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, probably.
Sorry.
I'll turn off my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would go.
If I turn it off, I will not be connected when I get back on.
That's true. So he's talking about us as sheep, and it gets brought back up again here that the young men need to be careful that if they're not standing steadfast and strong, the devil is waiting, just lurking in the bushes for a sheep that he can eat. In figurative terms, that's what he said. So we have sheep, and we have a shepherd, and we have this idea of drawing near to God and resisting the devil, which very much reminds me of another scripture, which I need you to type in now, Lucas. And this scripture would be James 4, colon, 7-10. Enter. And, it's New Revised Standard, but that's good enough. Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, purify your hearts, you double-minded. Lament, mourn, and weep. Let your laughter turn to mourning, and your joy to dejection. Oh, wow. NIV says gloom. Both are awesome words. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will exalt you. We had almost that exact phrase up here in 1 Peter. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. He will exalt you. He will raise you up. And all of that reminds me of catapults. I picture catapults when I picture that. That humbling yourself and being lifted up. And that's what I want to talk about, is catapults. So what do you guys know about catapults?
They can launch a variety of things.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever launched anything on a catapult?
I have launched something with a catapult.
Tell me about it.
In 6th grade in design squad, we made catapults out of spoons and rubber bands and a popsicle stick. And
just one popsicle stick?
Yes. What we did was we put a popsicle stick and a spoon, like a plastic spoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then the top part of the spoon was above the end of the popsicle stick. We tied them together with a rubber band and just shot it.
Okay, so
And
you're
it
like
worked.
wrapping the rubber band around the fulcrum and then pulling back and letting it go.
No, so what we would do was the spoon was there in the popsicle stick, so the head of the spoon was at the top above, like the. So you'd have the popsicle stick like this. The spoon would be moved up.
Okay.
So the top was above. So then when you'd shoot, like when you'd pull back the head of it and let go, it'd stop because it hit the popsicle stick.
Okay. I gotcha. All right.
I know that some catapults use the elasticity force to launch it, and then there are some catapults that use gravity to launch it.
Yes, there are. And let's watch a video that explains that. I don't know if the people on YouTube Live are going to get to hear the video or not.
I moved to just data, and it's still like buffering.
Your files are too powerful.
Oh no, really?
Your files are too powerful.
Okay.
You
Well,
should have just put the direct YouTube link.
yeah, should have, but see, that wasn't my original plan for any of this.
What does that mean?
It means that the file's too big.
It's too
for it
big to
run.
upload
Yeah,
into Discord.
Discord Nitro kind of fixes that, but that costs
Well,
money.
this is the video is the physics of catapults. I'm just gonna play it for you guys to watch, and the people that are watching on YouTube can just make a note of it for watching it on their own. Yeah, I had a whole like presentation for this whole thing, and it wouldn't display it. Like I couldn't get it to work through OBS.
Huh.
Spooky, scary skeletons send shivers down your spine.
All right, here we go.
It's a guy in front of a green screen. Like this one.
But
Oh, it doesn't
that's
even
a
work.
curtain.
It better work.
Oh yeah, it's loading.
Come on.
Well, crap.
We were doing great with technology stuff for a minute there.
And then it slapped us in the face like, huh, no, we lied to you.
All right, I'm gonna have to spin the wheel while that's doing what it's doing.
Yay! It better be push the button.
And that's locked up now. Good.
Yay! Yay!
Another compliment.
I'd say spin the wheel again.
Spin it again, Lucas.
Put some elbow grease into it. Ooh, science.
Are you like me? Do you like watching fruit explode and also enjoy physics? Well, if so, there's probably only one place in the world where those two great tastes
Word
come
association.
together. Punkin' Chunkin', America's annual contest to see whose homemade
Scissors is the
machine
word.
can hurl a pumpkin the farthest. Every November, thousands of amateur engineers, equal parts Da Vinci and Gallagher, converge on a farm in Delaware to put their contraptions to the test. They compete in divisions based on what kind of machine they've built, and whoever's device hurls their squash the farthest wins. The only rule: no explosives. Yeah, I know, a little bit disappointing there. But never underestimate physics. When its awesome powers are unleashed, it can make even a seemingly simple machine cause a lot of squash damage. And look good doing it. The machines at the Punkin' Chunkin' Festival rely on the release of stored energy to get the pumpkin airborne. This energy comes from some external force that's exerted on a part of the machine where it's been pent up as potential energy. For example, there are the air cannons, which release all at once the potential energy of gas that's slowly been pressurized inside a container. And then there's what the contest calls centrifugal machines, where a motor spins the pumpkin around a tether, which is pretty cool, even though centrifugal force is not a thing. But from where I stand, the most delightful Punkin' Chunkin' physics are found in the class of machines that you probably know as catapults. Yes, they're not just for smashing castles or upholting cats. There are actually many different kinds of catapults, including the mangonels, trebuchets, and torsion machines, each using a slightly different sort of force to create the potential energy. When you're thinking of a catapult, what you're probably seeing in your head is a mangonel. Its main feature is a long beam with a bucket on one end and the other fastened to an axle. The bucket end of the beam is usually attached to a sling by the machine's main frame. Then it's pulled down to apply the force of tension. This tension is what stores up the machine's potential energy until it's released. For Punkin' Chunkers though, catapults can use springs, cords, rubber, or dead weights to apply tension, but they've added an extra touch of genius to the traditional mangonel. Instead of just a bucket on the end, what it has is a sling. What's the genius in that? Well, it gives the machine a second fulcrum, or pivot point. The first fulcrum being where the beam meets the axle, but when that's released, it throws up the sling, which amplifies the power of the first fulcrum. This is all very similar to how trebuchets work, but they're a little more sophisticated, as far as catapults go. Rather than holding all the potential energy at the tip of the beam, where the pumpkin is, trebuchets rely on a counterweight at the other end. Again, the beam is pulled down to set the device, but instead of tension being the force at work, here, it's simply gravity. The heavier your counterweight is and the higher you lift it, the more force you get out when it falls. As a result, trebuchets are much more efficient, they tend to shoot a lot farther, and are more accurate, giving you more chunk for your buck. Finally, you have what the hardcore chunkers call portion.
So
smart.
you have mangonels and you have trebuchets, and you can see the title of this episode.
Trebuchet.
Yes. So you can get a picture of kind of where I'm going with this, hopefully, from that. Yeah, there's no viewers online. It still says we're live, but there's no viewers. That's so sad.
No connection to
Huh?
That is strange.
It's very strange.
It's just, and even Rich said it's super laggy. I'll go upstairs and see. I'm sure she's not.
Okay, load a little bit. Yay! Rachel got a little bit more to load. All right. Well, maybe eventually it'll work. If not, this is pretty close to working. We were so close.
Closer than we've been.
So, let's talk about mangonels for a minute. What you described that you built was a mangonel. And that would be just like you have the thing that launches and it's pulled back into place and it's got tension on it.
Force.
There's tension force holding it, and that's your potential energy, and then you let it go and it fires forward. So a mangonel would be like a classic style.
Yeah, like the one you think of when you see.
Yeah, you're not loading now.
Yeah. In pumpkin chunkin', the mangonels are not like they're not the massive ones. They're not the ones that you get the most distance out of. I've actually got videos here. There's no reason to play all these, but there's a video here of some kids like launching with like little homemade mangonels, launching pumpkins. But nothing happened from those. I'm gonna put in though. This is a trebuchet. I'm gonna load this in.
Oh yeah, it's small enough to.
So it's an image, not video.
Oh,
yeah. So this is
video.
This is the step-by-step process of a trebuchet. A trebuchet compared to a mangonel is going to get more distance because you have two fulcrums. You have this fulcrum and you have this fulcrum. And so a trebuchet gets like extra juice to it. So you can move that up. There we go. Now you can see all of that.
Yay.
So, versus a mangonel just having an object here and it's pulled back and snapped, the trebuchet has a weight on it and the weight drops straight down with gravity, and the more weight you have, the more thrust you can have on your arm. And then you have a thing in a sling, like a rock that's like laying here to start with, and it comes out and then whips around like that. And then once it gets up to the top, the sling kind of lets go and the rock is projected onward. So a trebuchet really is where you're going to get your distance in pumpkin chunkin'. And this isn't the time for that. I mean, that's why I was thinking of it, is because people are chunking pumpkins.
Because it's Halloween. Don't chunk in my pumpkin I put outside.
I wouldn't. Yeah, that looks really good, by the way.
Thank you.
You did a fine job not cutting your fingers off.
Yeah, I almost cut Nora's head about 3 times, but...
Oh. My mom didn't let me use an actual knife for it. We got the pumpkin.
Oh, you like a carving knife? Like a pumpkin knife?
The little ridges on the
one step above a plastic picnic knife.
One step above.
Well, we used that too, but it was like really sharp.
Yeah. Ours was just rigid. It had a bunch of lumps on it.
And that would be our new compliment, would be the compliment for you and the job you did with your pumpkin.
Thank you.
I saw a video today, actually, of people, they were at like a harvest festival that had like slingshot style like mini pumpkins. They were like throwing at targets. It's become like a thing that people want to do everywhere, is just launch pumpkins.
Yeah.
That's what made me think about this. And so we'll take a very, very quick break to reset the camera. We're gonna stay live, but I want to do the halfway haiku, which will hopefully, it was done by our young man here, hopefully the halfway haiku will begin the process of tying all of these things together.
I wrote it and I made the pretty image.
You didn't make the image. You just told us you found it online.
No, I used
You got it from Unsplash.
Well, I got a few images and I used Pixel to put them together. Look at that beautifulness.
Why don't you read it for us then?
Life's a catapult, soaring skyward 1 minute. Next one, the hard earth.
The hard earth. And you've got a little Minecraft in there and a little jack-o'-lantern in there.
And I got the catapult I took from the internet from that video we watched. But see, I used Pixlr to make that.
Good
so
job.
I didn't just take one image off. I took 3.
I thought you used Spark.
I used Adobe Spark to put it all together, but I used Pixlr to put the trebuchet.
Okay. I see. But you could have found like images that you could have laid on top of the trebuchet. But
You could have also made
Actually, that's a manga
pictures.
that's a
Hey, I was
manga.
on a time constraint of about 5 hours.
All right. So
Didn't
we
have
have
time.
we have sheep, we have catapults, and we have
Pumpkin.
and we have the scripture of resisting the devil and drawing near to God, and he will lift you up. So take all that, absorb it for 2 minutes. I'm going to reset the camera, and then we'll come back and do our word association that we spun and finish this episode
And
on
we'll eat cookies.
The black sheep! Come on, Stormfly! We can still win this thing!
Have a nice flight!
Up! Oh!
Yes! Good job, Meatlug! Here you go, darling. Mine's worth 10.
Yeah, the black sheep! No one can stop me now!
Except for me. We're attached, genius. Quit trying to
Hey!
steal all my glory! It's my glory!
Always ruining everything!
No sheep, no glory!
Gotcha! Ha-ha!
Whoa!
Astrid!
Well played!
All right, so we're back. We've had some cookies and some chips, and we're going to do the word association, which last week we ended with the word scissors. So scissors is our word to begin. If you can hear us live and you want to chime in with your own word, you can at the end, once everybody in the room has said the word. So Leslie, you're first.
You're not actually connected to the Discord.
What?
The live for Discord.
I'm in Standout. That's all I wanted to be in. They can deal with hearing it here.
Too bad.
I guess Hunter is trying to, but that's just
Stop
one.
it.
That's just one more thing to take up quality, like to take up stuff. So
Take up internet.
yeah. So Leslie, scissors.
Snip.
Yeah, it's you now.
Oh.
I gotta catch you off guard. So you're not
Paper.
thinking about it. Clip.
Metal.
Metal. All right. So type metal. Somebody maybe.
My hands are salty. Now they're not.
That is the word. If somebody wants to add on to that, feel free to add in. If you can actually view it. But at least we got it going. I'm happy about that. We figure out one thing at a time.
So you don't need to go back and edit this later.
Well, we've just been doing one camera for the last 2 or 3 weeks now, so
So who cares?
there's nothing to edit other than adding the little graphic for the wheel or whatever, putting in stuff like that. So tell me, this is you guys making up the lesson now. Tell me how you would connect trebuchets, sheep, Jesus being the shepherd, and humbling yourself before God so that he can lift you up, and resisting the devil as a lion.
I have an idea. I'm gonna wait to see if Owen has the same idea as me.
You can do it together. You can tag team it.
I probably don't.
Just go back and forth, and you say one part of it, and he builds on that, and then you build on that.
Okay. I'll let Lucas start because I want to get a good idea because
You're out of the shot again.
I have an idea, but it's not a very good idea.
So my idea was that Jesus is the one who's firing the catapult. You're in the catapult, and he's launching you up towards heaven.
Okay.
And then the tension and the gravity that's pulling you down would be the devil, keeping you from going up.
I don't think that. Oh yeah, the tension would be.
So, the resistance is the tension. You resist the devil by building up tension so that you can flee from him. Love it. Beautiful. Good job. Well done, Owen. Way to keep food in your mouth so you don't have to talk.
Exactly.
Brilliant idea.
Okay.
I like it. We'll just go with that. I don't have to do anything else. We can just end it here.
My idea was not good. My idea was something like the devil and I'm using my haiku as basically my example. The devil is the hard earth. Like, okay, so you're being launched up, and by resisting the earth, this is why it was confusing. By resisting the hard earth would be, I guess, using something to glide. I don't know.
Okay.
Like resisting the hard earth, which is, that will happen. Like, that could happen. That is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you do something to,
To stay away from it?
Yeah.
To get farther away from it?
Mm-hmm. Like maybe have a flight suit or something. Like hitting the hard earth, the contact with the hard earth. That is what I'm using as the devil. And I'm connecting that being like, you are the sheep going through the air. You are a sheep, so.
Does a sheep, when it's in the air, still say ba? Or does it say wee?
I thought you were going to say, does it say ba?
I think a pig
ah?
says wee in the air.
It does probably. You're right.
When pigs fly.
Can you picture a sheep being launched?
Yes.
That's awful.
Have you seen that before on Minecraft?
No.
Actually,
I found a video of it.
Oh, really?
There's a video. It was something that exploded, and there was a sheep that just happened to be standing on top of the thing that exploded, and the sheep went straight up.
Oh, yeah, there's a way to do that.
If you do like sheep launching Minecraft on YouTube, you'll find that video.
I think I could make that.
There's also a video of someone in Super Mario Maker that built a level called Sheep Cannon.
Oh.
Yeah.
But there's no sheep.
He changed the Mario to a different
Oh,
sprite.
I guess there must have been a costume for
something.
a sheep.
Yeah. And then there is sheep tossing. You actually do toss sheep. It's a real thing. You don't actually throw them, but sheep tossing is the idea of where you grab a sheep so that you can flip it up on its butt, so that like the sheep's just like all of his legs are straight out, and so that you can like you can cut on his hooves and.
It's probably like, does it kind of like
PETA,
puts
animal
him in
abuse.
some kind of a shock that they hold
It
still?
must, but like that's the way you maneuver them so that you can get them into a seated position. And once they're in a seated position, you've got a good hold on them. Like you can get around them and stuff. But yeah, they're not going to fight you that way. If you grab them right to flip them, then you toss them onto their butt, and then they're stuck with all their legs straight out. And that's called sheep tossing. But I was trying to find picture. I actually found a video, which I mean other people can look this up if they want, but. This is that the right one? Throwing a goat? Yes.
On top of a bus, yes.
So
that is correct.
This is video of a guy in some country throwing a goat onto the roof of a bus. If it will load, it probably won't load.
Yeah, I was gonna say it probably won't.
Come on.
Because the internet hates us.
It's not on the internet. I downloaded these. It's my computer.
Technology hates us.
Technology does hate us. I'll spin the wheel again.
Yay! Whoa!
Break the wheel.
Breaking the drum set that we're never going to use.
Yeah, it's fine if we break the drum set. No, did that.
Spin again. Yeah, I think there's something with the wheel that's like making it kind of stop.
Yeah, it's got some resistance to it. There it goes.
Wait, is it gonna... Okay.
Spin again. All right, so he's grabbing the goat by its feet. You can hear it
It's
screaming.
jeez.
They're trying to pack up this bus to go somewhere, and they've got 2 or 3 goats they need to put on the roof.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is very
Morbid.
Man, we were only hitting the same.
Jeez, you're gonna break it.
It's
Oh,
rigged
here he
now.
goes.
There goes.
Oh my gosh.
Wee! They just yeeted up.
And that's not the last one. He does it with multiple goats.
And I didn't even realize that was something
He
on
yanks
top
it
of
up
the
with its
bus.
rope. Yeah.
Oh, that's they're
Yeah,
choking
it seems
it.
kind of cruel.
They're-
But he's throwing it the best way you possibly could. If you were in a situation where you had to throw a goat, that's the best way to throw it. And he's throwing it very carefully up to a person who's catching it.
They're just yeeting it up there.
Yeah. So that's the closest I can find to literal sheep tossing. But hey, 200 points. We got 400 last week. So I erased it.
And so that's 600, and then we also got 200 another time, so that's 800.
Yeah, we're getting close to that
I'll write it down.
that beautiful 1,000 mark.
Where did I put my marker?
I don't know.
It's up here.
You can make note of it later. So, okay, thank you. Good. That's good.
You're welcome.
I'll just leave that
See,
up forever now.
I don't understand why they don't just put the O and the I, because it doesn't make it any shorter if you put PDS.
It makes it just a smidgen.
Yeah, because you also forgot the N.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like pounds and
I say I'm
LBS.
dumb.
It's like why not just do the whatever?
There's not even an L in pound.
I know. I don't know where that one comes from, but
How come we try to simplify words to make them really short and easy to send in like messaging? How can we basically just take out all the vowels and say this is good?
I don't know. Maybe someday we will when we perfect this whole texting.
Maybe when we
thing.
perfect it, we'll only say vowels.
Or
It'll just be
leave out
oi.
I don't think it would be only consonants. I think we would
Why
just.
say? Why
That's how it
say
is already. That's already how
lot
it is now.
words when few
Yeah,
words.
yeah. Was that from The Office?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that was
Kevin.
Kevin from The Office.
Kevin?
Well, I mean, like the Hebrew language had no vowels; it was all consonants, and you just had to like figure out the vowels based on oral tradition of what was spoken and what you knew. Kind of like shorthand or something. But anyway, so we're launching Sheep. You guys have your own ideas of like how that fits in, and I do like that a lot. I like your thoughts.
Probably is more than mine.
I wanna suggest one thing to it, and I'm really focused on that resist the devil part because I love the book of James and that scripture from James. That's one of my favorite scriptures. The James 4. Oh, too far. James, stop! Why is it doing that? James 4, 7 through 10, and then we have. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Those are like exponentials. You know what I mean? Like, if you move away from the devil, he moves away from you. That's doubling the distance. If you're here, devil's here, you move away, then he moves away.
Almost like a magnet.
Kind of. Versus come near to God, and then he will come near to you. That you eventually get so close that you're intertwined, right? So what's that saying? Like what is James trying to say with that concept? If you're
Magnetism.
No.
how? I mean, what is?
Okay, so
What's the beauty behind that?
Well, technically, a magnet wouldn't work in this situation. Because, yes, they'd be propelling each other, but at a certain distance, they just stop propelling each other.
It wouldn't
I
keep
know.
going.
But still, whatever.
I would assume that the way he's saying this, that the more you resist, the more he flees. If you go more this way, he goes more this way. So you come closer together, and you get closer together with God versus being farther away from the devil.
So I guess I'm gonna say, like supply and demand. When one goes up, the other goes down.
What's your supply and what's your demand?
Never mind. I try to make, connections.
It's fine. If you
never
can make
works.
it work, just make it work.
Well, for the distance between you and God getting closer, that would be the supply. Would be the
Your
Well,
availability
distance.
becomes the
Yeah.
supply.
I'm not talking. Well, for supply and demand.
No, you can make it work. It's not a catapult scenario.
I know.
It's more of a manufacturing scenario, but
I
it still
didn't really
works.
mean supply and demand for you and God. I meant it more for the devil because, like, when or we're just gonna do it in this way. If you were supply and the devil was demand, then when supply goes up, demand goes down.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
It's just,
not entirely true.
You're
Actually,
saying
it is.
supply and demand like some sort of inverse reaction is what you're saying. Like
Yes,
how
'cause
supply
that's-
and demand can be an inverse
because that's what
reaction.
economics works. When supply raises, demand.
Goes up.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, it'd be
My brain hurts. I've
it
forgotten
depends.
everything.
It depends.
when demand goes up, supply goes down
Yes,
because more
when-
people are getting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of something, then you don't have that rush of demand. And if you don't have much of something, there is a demand because there's only a few of them to go around, so there's a lot of people that want it. Yeah. So it is inverse, but it's not the good thing gives you less of the bad thing inverse. It's less of the good thing gives you more of the bad thing, sort of.
I'll just stop talking.
No.
Like the more
I'll just stop making connections.
No, it was fine.
Well, I mean, they never work.
You're just trying to say it's like an inverse reaction, is what you're
Yes.
trying to say, and that's fine. If we continually resist the devil, and we're moving farther away from him, we're creating less opportunity for him to be lion-like and
which
prowl.
would be more
and-
supply because the distance would be supply, and then the demand of him wanting to come to you would be less.
Right. Yes. So the greater your supply of distance, the less demand there is for him. So there you go. We made it work for you.
Yeah, and you made it work. I couldn't make it work myself.
That's why we're all in this together. Happy birthday.
You don't have to do anything.
No.
It's not my birthday yet.
But so for the idea of tossing sheep and like putting the sheep into a position where it can be lifted up and raised and thrown, you want to be careful with the sheep. You want to be close with the sheep. You want to be gentle with the sheep. You want to keep it near to you. Just like the shepherd is going to want to keep all of his sheep near to him. If he's going to be lifting you up, he's going to be doing it best if you're close. You don't want to be far away to be lifted up if you're a sheep. You want to be far away to be lifted up if you're a rock. Like with the trebuchet, the farther the distance, like we have with our example here, if the rock were just right there like it would be on a regular catapult, you're not as far away. You don't have extra leverage to throw farther distance. So the farther you are away, the more distance you get from it.
You see, that's how you make a connection.
That's what
I'll take notes.
Yeah. This is my gift in life, is to make connections between God,
Don't need a
sheep,
birthday present
and
now.
catapults. So the farther you keep away, the more you're building up a separation that gives you even more distance exponentially beyond that. Because if you're allowing yourself to be distanced, you're not going to be like tempted as much. You're not going to be as drawn in by evil ways because you're allowing yourself to be more distanced from it. And by being more distanced from this, you're also drawing closer to God. And drawing closer to God you can never get so close that you're stuck. Like you just keep getting closer and becoming.
As I think about God as your creator, so he created us, so we should be intertwined. Whereas the devil didn't create us; he's just trying to pull us away. So you can intertwine with your creator.
Yeah.
You cannot intertwine with
Right.
the devil.
And this whole idea of resistance, if you've never looked them up, there are different styles of trebuchets and catapults and stuff. And there's, for the pumpkin chunkin contest, they have a human version where
They launch humans?
where instead of just having a spring that's pulled down and like some sort of mechanical device creates the tension, all the tension has to be created by a human being. Like, they put a person on a bicycle and the person pedals the bicycle really fast to build up tension on the trebuchet. And that's what gives it the power and the resistance on the spring. But it has to come from human torsion. It can't come from the mechanical part. Those are really cool to watch, to see how much human resistance a person can build up. And, I mean, yeah, it's amazing to watch the air cannon ones. The air cannons will shoot pumpkins for miles. But, well, not quite miles, but I think they've gotten pretty close to a mile before. But the human ones, watching a human being pedal a bicycle to build up resistance to launch a pumpkin far away is a great example, which I'd love to show you, but it's not going to let me load it. So you can search on your own. Human-powered catapult pumpkin chunkin.
Sounds like
and
a
you'll
waste
see
of
lots
time.
of... What does?
Well, I mean, the pumpkin chunkin thing, that's fun because you get to build something yourself and then you get to launch a pumpkin. Yeah. But in this version, you actually have to use your own effort to make it work. Like, you have to add even more effort by trying to pedal to pull the catapult down. Like, that just sounds like a bigger waste of time to me.
But it'd be a lot easier to do that because then there's not as many components to figure out.
I guess, but you have to be in top physical condition.
But it's intended to be a whole category of how much human strength is there to create resistance. Like, how much can you really physically build up resistance-wise as a human being? And
so
bicycles are the best that they've figured out, is to pedal a bicycle.
So don't put me on the bicycle.
There's a version where you use a bicycle to make centrifugal force, and which becomes sort of like a trebuchet. You're waiting till it's in the peak spot to whip it. But for the most part, it's just building up tension, and they're really cool videos to watch. So do you get the lesson here? Can you see how all those things tie together?
Pretty much, yeah.
And
there's some slight connection, like one small thread.
That's all I need. One small thread, and then I'll put that thread into a little bow, and I'll tie it around your finger, and it'll be with you forever.
I thought you were going to say, I'll tie it around your birthday gift.
Yeah, that's your present.
My finger?
One thread. So we have young men submitting themselves to elders and not being too proud and boastful, staying close to God, resisting the devil, so that they can be lifted up and not be eaten by lions. All of those things together. Let's spin the wheel one last time.
And while you're spinning it, I'll go back to my sort of, idea about this thing, about how the hard earth represents the devil.
Please do.
Just a short little thing that it's that the
state of mind.
When you're being launched, like, for example, if someone's being launched out of a catapult, when they're high up in the sky, closer to heaven, I guess you could say, that is probably the best point of the catapult that you'll be in, is being high up closer to the heavens. But then as you start getting closer down, closer to hell, as you're getting down there, knowing you're about to make contact with the earth, that's probably the worst part of being launched in a catapult.
Okay, but that presupposes that heaven is underground. That hell is underground and that heaven
Well, yeah, I'm just sort of using the figurative thing.
Yeah, okay. I get you. Where the earth is bad because it's earth. And
no one likes earth. Smelly
away
earth.
from the earth is, Okay. So, state of mind. Leslie, you got a state?
Idaho.
Oh, state?
Never mind, he just said Idaho.
No, I'll let Mom do it.
Oh, no, that's fine. Idaho's good.
Okay.
I didn't know what you meant.
We just talk about a state for 60
Idaho.
seconds.
Do there.
I love potatoes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
We had potatoes for lunch today. Fried potatoes.
I was gonna say something about their potatoes. Like, do Idaho potatoes taste different than like potatoes in another part of the world? Because everyone says like how they're known for potatoes, but does that mean like it tastes different?
I think the soil is just right for growing potatoes well.
Like it's the perfect conditions.
Yeah, or good conditions.
Like in Ireland, how their conditions are kind of the same as Idaho's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Idaho, if you look at it on a map, Idaho on the right side looks like the silhouette of a person's face. It looks like a person, like the head, the nose, and yeah.
So like that one piece of art that like it kind of looked like two chalices or like two people.
Yeah.
That kind of.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that, yeah. Which they used to do commercials for Idaho potatoes all the time, and I constantly would see the logo for it and think that it was a guy's face. Like, why are you showing this guy's face in your potato package? But it's actually the map of Idaho that they darkened out around it and had the yellow in the middle for the state, so it looked like.
And you didn't
the side of
realize
the
that
fence.
until 40 years later.
It was a good probably 10 years after. Yeah, that I finally.
You looked at Idaho and like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So go check that out sometime. It's pretty cool. Any last thoughts or questions? We have one person trying to view. Thanks for struggling through it. Rachel and Mac and Hunter.
Well, Rachel's not on
there.
it anymore.
I don't. Do you know? Can you tell who the person is that's viewing, or not?
No, there's no way to tell.
It's fine.
It does look like a person's face.
It doesn't it? Yeah.
Especially in that, like a gray
Yeah. There's.
shade.
See, there you go. You can see a video of it.
Like
A
it's
reflection
looking
of it.
down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Great, now I can't unsee that.
I know, right?
It's sort of like when I talked about the Buffalo Wild
bumpy
Wings thing, how I
skin.
thought it looked like,
Yeah.
I thought the eye kind of looked like a horn or something. I forgot what it was.
And the Goodyear tire logo is supposed to be a shoe with wings.
Really?
But it looks like a gas pump to me. Like I never saw it as a shoe.
I've never even seen the logo. I've just seen
Oh yeah,
the
it's supposed
text.
to be like
What is it?
Goodyear.
not Ricky. Who is it? It's supposed to be.
It's some Greek thing.
Yeah, it's a Greek god.
Yeah.
I forget who it is.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Hermes, I think. The
Maybe?
messenger of the gods.
That would make sense.
The shoe?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
winged
shoe with the wing. It always.
Yeah,
I just see a gas pump. To me, it looks like a gas pump, or
I see.
the nozzle of a gas pump, like some sort of like a gun thing.
Oh.
I've never looked at it as a shoe and a wing before. I just see like nozzle of, like they're putting gas into a car or something, which makes sense, sort
Put
of.
on a pumpkin. You want to carve that.
Yeah. All right, so that's gonna be it for us today from Standout. Thanks for watching, and maybe we'll get our camera stuff figured out better for the next episode. Until then,
And before we leave, I have a hypothetical for you guys to think about. If we lived in the Upside Down, would McDonald's be called WickDonald's?
so all the other letters are right side up, but the M is
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's the science. Like, it would say W, so would
right. It
people
would
call
say
it Wick?
W, but
Yeah, but would people still call it WickDonald's, though?
But then the rest of the logo would be.
I don't care.
if
When you
you're-
think of McDonald's, you think of the big M.
yeah.
But if everything was upside down, you'd think of a W.
But then it wouldn't be.
But
Whatever.
you'd be upside down with it.
I don't
Because
care.
if it's still planted on the ground, your feet are on the ground, you still see it as an M.
Hey, I haven't seen all of Stranger Things, so why don't you just shut up?
So come visit us next Sunday.
Yeah. Come visit us live from the basement. We need lots of people here to
I have food.
You'll see our unmarked.
eat Leslie's food.
You'll see our unmarked white van
Yeah.
outside the church parking lot for you to get in. We'll take you to our basement.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Come to our van.